Chapter 920. I love Odin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode, man, of the Podcast. I'm the best guy ever, and this is Hypocrite Dude.
Oh, jeez, best guy ever. What are we doing here on this pirate ship?
Oh, you know, dude,
geez.
it's time for chapter 420. Oh, wait, no, 920. Oh, too late, I'm already high. Oh, yes. Chapter 920, I Love Odin, of the manga One Piece,
Yes.
Everyone. Let's have ourselves some fun.
Initially, I Love Odin seemed silly, but then I remembered that all of the characters are food. Every
Yes.
single character
Though-
is named after a food, Japanese style.
Momo is Peaches. I was seeing in like the notes or something like his mom or something is named another food thing. They're all fucking food. They're all.
I mean,
they're all
the
food
whole
guys.
thing is about food. It's kind of funny. We just got done with a big old food-loving sugar mama sort of chapter
She's
arc,
a sugar mama.
and
true.
we're on to like food in general, just still being a theme.
Yeah, that's funny. And at first I was like, I love Oda. What is this? My thoughts when I read One Piece? Oh no, it was Odin. Well, there you go.
Yes.
Here it is.
So,
all right, cover art.
Cover page. Well, it's
Not
not
an art
it's
page.
not a cover arc. It is
True.
just
We're
a
out of
thing.
it.
We're done with the cover arcs for now.
Thank God. I'm getting pretty sick of it.
I like this one with Zoro and Sanji dreaming about how they win, because
Over
of
each other,
how adorable it is that Sanji's got Nami on his shoulders. That's what he wants. But in Zoro's dream, he wants Chopper's appreciation.
He wants Chopper to like look up to him. What you don't see is the next part of the dream where Chopper begins blowing him. Chopper giving fellatio, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we're talking about here on the Podcast. Yeah. I like that, clearly, I like that Zoro and Sanji... Well, you know what? We can't see what's happening with Sanji back there. I was gonna say that it's like a wholesome thing, because like none of them look hurt too bad. But you can see that... if you look in Sanji's dream, you can see Zoro's sword broken in the background. And you can see in Zoro's dream, Sanji appears to be like pile-drived into the ground or something.
Yeah. I mean,
Very rude, Sanji, dreaming of breaking Zoro's sword. How rude! How rude!
I mean, it's just they fight. Whatever. This
He's
is not this
mean.
is not something to analyze. I just thought it was cute that Chopper was there. All right.
No, they are both
Moving
evil,
swiftly
white
on
males.
to the chapter with many words, with many informations given.
That's true. All right, here we go. Not a flashback to the past yet. Continuing the story. What the hell is going on with this time travel boys that we learned last fucking week? Let's find out.
Yeah. So, basically, as assumed, they were sent forward through a power of a devil fruit, and it was from the mother.
Correct. That is to say, Odin's wife and Momonosuke's mother. Yes.
Yeah, so we learn a lot about all of that backstory stuff. We learn about Odin and what he was. I thought he was like a shogun, but they have been saying Lord Odin. He was just a guy who was given land, and that's what a lord is. He's a guy who gets who has an army and a castle, and he owns a bunch of land. That's
he was the son of the current shogun, so like he would have become it. I assume.
yeah. And of course it makes sense that he's like a roughhousing teddy boy gangster rapper, sort of like beating the shit out of everyone and going and doing whatever he wants, because he ends up on Gold Roger's crew, I think.
And he's got a cool pirate hat, even as a samurai boy, which I respect greatly.
Yeah.
And there's a backstory here about how he was such a violent asshole crazy boy, he got kicked out of the capital city and entered the lawless zone of Wano. There was a fucking place where all the outcasts would go, and he was such a hardcore motherfucker. He fucking reamed that place. He kicked everyone's ass, made them literally all best friends, and made the place into Kuri that became like the beautiful, like most it's like the, what is it? It's that town we were at before where like everything beautiful grows and the delicious food comes from and stuff. So he turned it from a piece of shit asshole place into fucking sick dope ass place after he beat this guy Ashura Doji and all that shit.
I'm a little bit confused because they say here he built a paradise farm or a paradise farm for everyone. And like in this lawless area, he built his castle. He had everyone under his, power and all that. And then there's the flower capital, which is like, I think I'm just getting a little confused about like where things reside spatially. Like they've been in this wasteland, and they came to the leftover town, and then they went to some town that had all the food. Where was that?
That was Kuri.
Okay, so that's still there. But like,
that's right.
It's taken over by bad guys, and the castle is
flower capital
destroyed.
is just elsewhere somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know yet, but I'm sure we'll see. Pretty cool, though. I already like this guy a lot, because he has achieved something impressive in his life, as opposed to was just given shit. So, pretty cool. I like him a lot. I like his cool hat, and he fucking was with Gold Roger on his crew and went to Raftel. This guy is obviously a fucking dope-ass individual. Cool. Want to see more. I want to know more about this guy. Like him a lot. And he had a habit. He had a habit of saying, and I bet we'll hear this at an opportune moment of this arc, people, it's too cramped here.
Oh, yes. There's definitely going to be a moment where like every single pirate involved is going to be in one room and they're all going to be shouting, and Momonosuke is going to to be like, oh, it's too cramped here. Wah, wah. You know what
I bet you right now, that, and then the fucking, okay, not that. I bet Luffy will say it, because Luffy is every cool pirate in One Piece. That's just his role. I bet he'll say it at some point, but... And then fucking Kinemon will like look at him and like see the silhouette of Lord Oden behind him and be like, his spirit lives on, inherited will. I understand the themes of One Piece. I mean, something like that.
The reason I assume Momonosuke is because like he's carrying on the family lineage, and then Luffy is like stealing his thunder by being his father instead. And Momonosuke's like, okay. What am I here for? What am I supposed to do?
Momonosuke's a little too young to like do anything that cool. I think he'll definitely get like some cool thing in this arc for sure.
Momonosuke is definitely gonna be able to like show his ability for future leadership.
I mean, even that girl, even that little girl Isa from Skypiea, like who teamed up with Luffy, she was useful and helpful and pretty cool because she used her mantra to like help Luffy find Eneru and like beat him and stuff, and without her he would have been totally fucked. So yeah, at the very least something like that where he'll be useful, I'm sure, even if it's just politically. We'll see.
So it's cool. Then we smash cut to Zoro being somewhere.
He just beat up a tiger. Cool.
Well, I think the thing is like he wandered off the dog, got onto a tiger, and assumed he was still riding the dog because he's so bad at like understanding where he is. Talk about like having like being confused where you reside spatially, you know?
Okay, this is one of those things that like as a critic you can be like that doesn't make any sense. But
I'm not saying
he gets lost.
You're
not.
That.
I'm saying that, but I'm saying that I'm not saying that is what I'm saying.
Oh, I bet you are.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think obviously this is just so that Zoro could be at the place they're talking about currently, the wharf.
Yes.
Which I think, where do they say it leads to? They say it leads to somewhere.
Man, I don't fucking know. He's just somewhere. He's. I mean, is the wharf even important? I think the point is just that like he's gonna go. It is. Why?
Yeah, they talk about it later. I read this chapter the other day when it came out, and we couldn't record, so I had forgotten everything. And lol.
Okay, we'll see. We'll get there. Anyway, so we do another smash cut. Cut to another beach. And here's a bitch.
Inuarashi.
Only male. Yeah, Inuarashi. Inuarashi. I thought there was a G there. Whatever. Anyway, here he is. So when we last saw Nekomamushi was chilling with Nekomamushi. I forgot the M-A. Fuck. He was with a Pineapple Head. Fucking, what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Marco the
Phoenix, yes.
Marco de Pollo.
Here's this guy. Inuarashi. Their fucking names are shitty.
Inuarashi.
Inuyasha. Here's
Yeah.
Inuyasha.
Inuyasha and
Yep.
yeah.
Inuyasha and Sessho I don't know, whatever.
Neko-chan. All right.
Neko-chan, yeah. So whatever. He's just going like, yeah,
So, yeah,
I was nostalgic. I was here before. That was cool.
He could hear the story being told, and he was like, ah, yes, that old story. The story of when Odin was a young boy or a man, and we were young boys instead, and he was cool. Yeah, when we were talking about like who could the potential 9 people, the 9 Red Scabbards be, I totally forgot about Inuarashi and Nekomamushi, because they are.
Could be them. It could be them.
You know, they were on Gold Roger's crew. They were with, they have the big ties to the.
They didn't get to Raftel, but they were on the crew. So yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so like they're impressively important lads.
True.
And I hope they get their fair share of cat food and dog food from the big food wars that are about to commence.
Indeed, Shokugeki is
also
food war in Japanese.
Also, I just want to say Duke Inuarashi, his nameplate there, just above it, just a little north of that nameplate it's Pedro. It's clearly Pedro.
That's
He's confirmed
not Pedro.
Real.
That's that other guy. I forget his name. That's like the cheetah or something. I think it was a cheetah. No, Pedro was a cheetah. Whatever. This guy was
Bedro. It's Bedro, all right?
It's Bedro, his brother. This character has a name. I just forget it and don't care to look it up. I like that zebra guy to the left as well. He's looking good. He's
looking like a musketeer right now.
Yeah, I can respect that. Whatever. What's his face was a hero. Who gives a shit? Next page, we're still jacking ourselves off about Odin. Whitebeard was charmed. Roger was captivated by that samurai of the Wano country. We're getting built up for a flashback. Is what's happening here, people. Just so you know. Obviously.
I mean, oh yeah.
And I'm loving
it's implied. It's implied that more stories that are being told that we're not hearing.
Yeah. I would sure like to hear some of those, but I guess we just won't.
I mean, they'll show it in the flashback or something.
I have a question and a slight problem. It's just that, like, why exactly aren't we getting a flashback right now? Like, because, like, clearly in canon, Kinemon is telling stories about Odin. Like, how come we are not getting to see that? Is it because Oda just wants to save that for later? Is that all?
Probably.
But why? Well, you know what?
Because thematically relevant plot moment where it's like, the character does something that the guy in the past did also, and then the guy who was there both times sees him do it, like we were saying earlier. That's the moment to do it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, there was shit like this that happens a lot, so, whatever, fair enough. The fucking flashback... No, actually, now that I think about it, when did the Calgara flashback happen?
Calgara?
Yeah, Calgara and Mont Blanc, Norland. That was when they were in Skypiea. Like they weren't. That wasn't on Jaya. That was like later.
Yeah, we saw like the storybook rendition of that. Right. The first time we heard it,
which was full of some lies.
Yeah, and then they went there, and then they learned the true story where we saw the characters in their real form.
Yeah.
Instead of in a storybook-looking way.
Well, the only thing is, like, that was like the best thing that's ever been written, and like totally made sense as like a storybook lies, actual truth, and we see the difference. I'm just saying, this is not a serious problem. I'm just like, I would have liked to see this guy, but I can wait. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the only reason I think that it might be a deal, not a big deal, but like, is that they tell all these stories and Luffy's laughing and everyone's like shocked at how cool this guy is, and then they say, our beloved Odin was taken to the flower capital and executed as a criminal, and then everybody flips the fuck out and they're crying their eyes out, and I don't feel connected to Odin in the same way that they do yet.
Yeah, so like I said before that like I was talking about how impressed I was by Odin. Like we got basically one story, which was just like he was a kid, like he was a rough and tumble asshole. He got kicked out of the flower capital. He went and he like created this town because he like beat up everybody who was a bad guy. He became like a whatever, like the ruler of Kuri or whatever, and like was a beloved hero, and like so that's like one story we have. But, like, look at Luffy, for example. Luffy is, like, so into this guy. He's, like, smashing the building because he's so pissed off about this guy who was killed, who he knows already was killed. It is a little weird. Like, let's see, this is why. Like, if we had gotten a flashback, I would totally be with Luffy right now. I'd be like, yeah, dude. I just came to love that character.
Imagine if we never saw the Otohime flashback. We wouldn't be, we wouldn't be as on board with everyone who cries about it.
Yes, I think Oda is a little. You know what? This I think is what I was trying to express. Like Oda is a little bit trying to do two things at once. To have his cake and eat it too. He wants to keep the big reveal of like Odin's backstory, like what he looks like, what his like powers are or something, like for a cool flashback he's going to do. I get that. But at the same time, he's also trying to currently capitalize on us loving this character. And like, I don't even think it's totally ineffective. I just think that it's a little bit flatter. Like you can't do either of those things at 100%. There's a bit of a compromise between those. So
like I felt like, not just right now, but like on a couple occasions, One Piece does this thing where, you know, they have these big tears and the incredible cry moments, and they make, you know, but they do it before, like, you know, they preemptively have the big cry when it doesn't really feel warranted yet.
This is a big cry. Like, this is like a full double panel cry going on right here, basically. With like individual shots of like all the characters, including our crew who just heard about this guy.
Yeah, it's like...
That's big. That's a lot.
It's like, the way I would, like, because they already know 20 years had passed, and Lord Odin is nowhere to be found. Like, why would they be that upset that he was dead?
Yeah. Hey, here's a great example.
It's just a bit. It's like imagine like people go around saying, "Did you know Gold Roger's dead?" and everyone like cries like big, like, "Oh my god!"
I've got a great example. I mean, it's true that this is Lord Odin's friends and family, so I kind of get, like, vibing with their strong emotional connection.
Yeah.
But remember when Luffy was being told the story of Fisher Tiger by Boa Hancock, and, like, Fisher Tiger freed all the fucking slaves, or at least a lot of them. Like, he is unequivocally a way huger hero of the world than, like, Lord Odin is, or was. And Boa Hancock got way emotional. This guy saved her and then, like, got killed. I mean, maybe they didn't go into the whole get killed thing, but like Luffy was like concerned, but was like nowhere near as animated as he is right now, hearing about Lord Odin. And so I'm just like thinking of those two, and I'm like, you're kind of pulling my, you know, like Luffy's not the most emotional guy. He does get caught up in stories about heroes, though. He does like heroes.
I could buy this. I could definitely buy this if like Kinemon is like supposed to be like a really good storyteller or something, because he's got like Kanjuro's a painter, you know, like there's subtle parallels to like theater performance, like instead of samurai stuff. Yeah, like they could like in peacetime, you know, we could do circus tricks or something.
Sure.
Like there's nothing like concrete yet to back that up. But I like the idea that like Kinemon just spins a really good yarn, and this is why this works.
Oda could have done this exact same thing. What if like what's his face? Kanjuro, it looks like a literal kabuki actor. What if they had him like act it out in some funny way? That would have been like cool, and like would have made sense, like why we get invested in the story. Like I know that's kind of a lot to ask to like block that and frame that in like a ruined castle. I'm just saying, I think it would like work a little better. That's all. But you know,
Kanjuro's not here, is he?
No, he's not. But I'm just saying though, like that would make more like if somehow that had been written to happen. But like really, I think that Luffy and the gang are just vibing off. Like this is Odin's like friends and family for like many years. So I think they're kind of just getting caught up in the emotions of the moment, and feeling how much they loved him and stuff.
I'm just like thinking of like the way this is like over the top crying, and it's reminding of like when Usopp is telling Frankie about everything that happened with Mary and all that stuff, and Frankie starts crying with his guitar, and it's a comedic moment, but he's like really actually emotionally connected to Usopp and his plight. And it's like it's a funny moment, and it's a big cry, but it's like a silly big cry. But this is like extremely serious.
I mean, that was really sad. And then there's all right, you're totally right about this. And then like we get the big come of like the actual funeral of Mary that Frankie was at as well later on, like at the very end of Eni's lobby and shit. But that'll be the equivalent of like when we see the actual flashback to Odin later, which is 100% guaranteed. Yeah.
It's not like a problem here, but it's just happened more than once, and I don't like it when it does happen, because I like those big emotional moments to be saved for like things that actually make me sad and cry as well. Because there have been moments in One Piece that have made me cry, such as Mary's funeral.
Indeed. Mother C. The song that plays for that is so fucking emotional.
Unironically makes me cry no matter what every time I listen to it.
Yeah, just that little "We Are" melody. Okay, anyway, I'm getting emotional, which is not what this scene deserves. So, right, blah, blah, blah. They're really sad that he got executed. You know, that sucks. Fucking Orochi got him killed, executed him, whatever. And in the eyes of these guys, because they just travel from the past. Oh, this is important.
Yes.
Fucking Kinemon says, in our eyes, it was only a few months ago. So now we have an established timeline.
Yes,
so the whole 20 years
thing
thing makes perfect sense now. The lady in the past predicted in 20 years that, like, there would be a thing. She sent them 20 years to the future. Makes 100% sense. No problem. No problem. It's great. I'm very glad that he did that. Although
yes,
a few months to mount a whole rebellion, that's pretty fast. You know, they got to work quick to get that done. But it's working out so far.
There's no like sense of like confirmation or disprovation of like the idea that she prophesized it would work out in 20 years or not.
Well, I guess now we don't need to assume. I mean, it's still definitely possible, but I would say that it's a bit less necessarily the case that she has any kind of prophecy vision. Because everything right now makes sense simply with the power to send things to the future. But maybe she'll have prophecy powers too. I don't know. We'll see.
I think maybe. Yeah. What's the thing that she said something like very? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We'll move along. We'll get to that. It's in like a page or two. Yeah. So in any case, like Kinemon is just continuing to tell the story. We escaped.
Lord Odin was killed, and they were going to come after Momonosuke next. The next in line. They hated that guy. He sucks.
Yep, sure does.
So Orochi, and I assume definitely was working with Kaido at the time. It could have been like Kaido was the one who gave Orochi the idea to kill Lord Odin because he was a Gold Roger guy.
Yeah, definitely possible. I mean, we can see unequivocally that like Kaido was involved in this situation. So now we also know that Kaido was involved in the overthrow of the Kozuki clan and helping Orochi rise to power. Because in this very dope panel at the bottom of what page is this? Oh, it doesn't matter. You'll know the one, friends. We see Kaido, big boy, on the left, the burning Odin Castle in the background, and on the top right. Now this is interesting. So on their way back to the fucking castle, Kaido is burning it down, and on the right we see clearly the leftmost of those three looming figures is Jack. Definitely looks like Jack. In the middle there. Guy who looks like Pika, who I'm calling Pika 2, and on the right guy,
Pikachu.
You got the meme. And on the right guy, that looks like a big strong man, like from the 20s with a mustache.
Oh, so, yeah, I can see that.
See, I hope that it literally is a guy like that because those are very funny. That's what I have to say. And so to me, it seems like these are probably our. I believe it was said that there were the 3 calamities of Kaido. I think the number 3 was used. And we already met Jack, obviously. So the other 2 are probably the other 2. Maybe it'll be like, I don't know, we've got drought, maybe starvation, and maybe a meteor from the sky kills everyone. You know, that's a calamity. I don't know. We'll see.
I wanted to point out down here. Mm-hmm. You can see Kinemon, Kanjuro, Okiku, Raizo, and then there's a guy on the left that is partially obscured by a thought bubble.
Who's wearing a big old straw hat, who we'll see again on the next page.
And I don't think we're supposed to know who that is yet. I think it may be some other person we've heard of already, but we don't, like, that they were talking about, like, a thief, or, like, a bunch of guys, a rebellion people.
Yeah. The interesting thing about this guy, who we definitely don't know yet, but definitely stands out, is that his appearance, and if you look at this, so his hat has a distinctive black square on the top. This big straw hat with a black square looks suspiciously just like the hat that, do you remember way back when there was a cover arc about somebody who we didn't know meeting Crocus, who we assumed was Yorkie. Because we didn't know who it was, but it looked like he had, was like an old man. We couldn't really tell who he was. And was showing up with Crocus, who's with Laboon, so we assumed it was Yorkie, who's related and could have survived up to that point. Brooks' old captain from the Rumba Pirates. This guy looks very similar to that character from that cover arc page. Now, we don't know for sure that it's that guy. We have absolutely no idea. But the hat is very similar. And so it just stands out that it's possible those two are connected. Could be the same person, possibly. And
I think the Rumbar pirates being, with Crocus and Laboon makes more sense, but also Odin was with Gold Roger and Crocus was on Gold Roger's ship, so maybe there's also a connection through that.
There could be a connection there, and also just to if this is in fact the same character from that doesn't necessarily rule out that this literally is Yorkie, because let's not forget, Brooke is 88 years old because he spent more than 50 years just trapped in that place. In 50 years, Yorkie could easily have recovered from that illness, which he probably did, knowing shonen writing tropes, and maybe he got to Wano and started working for the coast. Who knows, man? He could live a whole fucking life in 50 years. So it's totally possible that it's all the same character, but who knows? Could just be a coincidence. I bet not, though. I bet this is intentional. Knowing Oda, see guys, there's two kinds of theories. There's theories that make some sense and are worth speculating on, but you never say that they're definitely true. And then there's theories that are complete bullshit and there's no evidence for and they don't make any sense whatsoever. It's important to remember the distinction. This is the former, I would say. But, of course, it's only a theory. A One Piece theory.
Yeah, there it is.
Thanks for killing.
Continuing to listen. So
yes.
So now
we got to talk about the lady. Yeah.
Yeah, they smash into the castle. Oh shit, Lady Toki, Lady Hiyori. So we got Momonosuke. We got a sister now, Lady Hiyori.
Yep, there's the sister.
And the mother, Lady Toki, and she says she has a thing in this flashback.
Yes.
Where she says, "I've been traveling further and further into the future using this mysterious time ability."
We have the time fruit that autistic OC creators have been speculating about for decades.
A week. Oh.
Well, also a week especially, but yeah.
So
there is a Toki no Mi. When's the Mizu no Mi confirmed? That's what I want to know.
So what's interesting about this is that the traveling further and further into the future.
Yes.
How old is she? Was she around before the Void Century? Was she around before the world government? And she's just been running away from problems by going into the future over and over again.
That is an excellent question, because I think we will see when we see the flashback the theme of running away and how she doesn't run away from this situation. I've heard a bunch of people criticizing her for why would she send other people to the future but not herself, knowing that she can do this. I think it ties into her character arc, most likely. But I mean, we don't know yet. We can only speculate. But I'll give Oda the benefit of the doubt on this. But in terms of when she's from, all right. I mean, considering now we've got a character with the fucking Toki no Mi. Oh, and by the way, she establishes immediately, guys. This is important. It is impossible for people to travel to the past, but traveling to the future is very possible. We have confirmed no back traveling in time. I wasted everyone's time for 20 minutes last episode. You're welcome. Get fucked. Patreon.com/thepodcastpirates.
It just made so much sense that it wouldn't be like that. So I'm very happy about this.
I couldn't be happier that it isn't true, because that would ruin it. That would you never want to go back into the past and fuck up the timeline, because it's just
we have to go
so
back,
many bad writings. We have to go back. I couldn't be happier that this is the case.
Wouldn't it be funny if she was Lady Hiyori and she was the first D?
Yeah, I mean,
oh my god,
please.
dude, wait a second.
All right.
Wait a second. Momonosuke has the voice that can hear all things.
Yeah,
or whatever
a little
it's
bit,
called.
yeah.
The mysterious power that Gold Roger has.
Right, that Luffy also has.
She birthed a child with this ability. That means, a devil fruit aside, her being from further in the past than even 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it could be she could be a very significant character. She might not even be dead. I mean, she probably is, but...
She probably is, but I mean, we don't know. Gib, I'll say this. We have now... Oda has just written himself And I think it's appropriate for... Okay, look, One Piece has been going on for 20 years. It's time to get some fucking answers about the Void Century. Okay, two facts. We now have a character with the fucking Toki Tomi. She could come from any amount of time in the past. Any amount. She could be from 10,000 years ago, but frankly, I'd rather have her from about 850 years ago, or 900 or so, when the fucking Void Century starts, or 800 when it ends, because that's what matters to One Piece. Though it is interesting, like, what happened before the Void Century? We don't know a lot about that. It doesn't matter.
I think it was just fact. Like, there was chaos, and then
I guess
the
it's that,
people
like, yeah,
wanted
there
to
were
get
kingdoms.
Power.
Like, yeah, at the end of that, the world government
but
consolidated.
But if she knows the Void Century, I mean, various people know.
I mean,
of
you know,
due
Gold
to the
Roger
Poneglyphs.
knows. Fucking Odin made it to the end of the Grand Line. He probably knows too. Rayleigh knows. There's people who know. There's people.
But they know through Poneglyphs. She knows from experience, potentially.
I mean, we don't know, but and here's the other thing I was going to say.
But like, she could have told like bedtime stories to Momonosuke, and he wouldn't have no idea that the stories he knows from her are like real.
I mean, definitely possible. Definitely possible.
That's like a way to pass on the information secretly.
I kind of already said my second point, but it was just that like Oda has now written a direct way to get like information from the Void Century to the future via this character. This is like, of course, you know, like I was saying, it's been 20 years of One Piece. It's time to get some answers. It's time. Like, One Piece is literally wrapping up in the next, you know, I'll say 5 to 10 years, probably closer to 5. So yeah, I mean, I'm ready. This is the time. This is the time.
Yeah,
We've done it, team.
The Void Century is like, I've never had like a sense of like, oh, this is like going to be mind blowing. Not that it won't be mind blowing, but like what happens is basically just.
It's just the world government covering up its crimes, probably.
The world government did bad things to get in power, and they want people to forget that.
Yeah,
and that's basically
that's
it.
Gonna be
it's
gonna be it.
Void Century Gate, you know, simple idea, but the you know, it's gonna be so nice to just see that information get leaked out, the world government go insane, and it's like no, they can't know, and then Luffy says it on the big megaphone, or maybe Buggy says it on TV.
I can see it. Buggy and I don't know, Usopp team up as the God Boys. Also, let's just not forget the like. There's so many links to the Void Century and shit, because let's not forget the Kozuki clan that Momonosuke and Odin are from are literally the clan that made the Poneglyphs. This has been established. They did it. They made the Poneglyphs. So their ancestors knew the secrets. You know, it would be quite surprising if our boys didn't you know, have some fucking insight to share. Yeah, this is the arc. This is the arc where we find out. Maybe we don't find out everything, but we're gonna find out something, and it's gonna be a big deal.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a big deal.
This is good. This is ramping up.
This is real good.
This is more than just the funny Japanese arc. This is like a lot of things.
And don't get me wrong, I love myself
that have been coming for a long time, coming together.
And I love me a funny Japanese arc, but I'm also happy to get that deep lore. You know, like I said, it's time. It's time to get to it. And also, I love this silhouette shot. This should be in the thumbnail of Momonosuke, his gay sister, and his mom. They all look sick as hell. Look very dope. Very good. Lady Toki.
Yes.
Lady Toki.
So, all right.
Cool.
What's with Hiyori, though? Does she stay behind and die? She can't.
Okay, I'll
right?
tell you. I mean, we know for a fact that Hiyori was not sent to the future because we were told in no uncertain terms who was sent. My first thought was that like Hiyori just is Okiku or Kiku, and that like it's like we're definitely going to meet the grown-up version of Hiyori because she has to be somewhere. I mean, she's either dead, very unlikely. Or she was sent to the future, which would be dumb because we were told that didn't happen. I mean, I guess it's possible. Or, more likely than anything, she did stay behind in the past, has grown up, and just is around.
That would be very cool.
The reason,
like, little brother, or you're
exactly.
still very small, haha. I'm bigger now.
You know, like, my theory that it is Okiku... Kiku. I keep calling her Okiku. We don't know. You know, if she is in fact the sister, she would be Okiku because she would be princess. Okay, but like the point is, when we see like the samurai here, that shot with Kaido and the Calamity boys, like we see on the right, it looks like that's Okiku, It could be Okiku. It might not be. It's possible.
Well,
the reason
I think it is because she has like a deep connection to Kinemon, and they've only been in the future for a couple months, so it's unlikely that she is like someone else.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, like, okay, but I mean, it's definitely possible that, like, I don't know, maybe she's like 8 in like this flashback. It's possible for all 8 of those years, like, she really liked Kinemon, like, he trained her with the sword because, like, she was a tomboy and wanted to learn, and that they were, like, way into each other. And now that it's, 20 years, she's legal, baby! She's legal! And, it's possible. It's possible. There could be something like that.
I don't know. I think it's pretty clear that Okiku is one of the 5 sent to the future, because that's what they already said.
Yeah, I don't know. I sense some shenanigans of some kind. Like, I can feel Oda, as he does, playing with words. Like, if we read in Japanese, maybe things aren't exactly as certain as they were phrased in English. Like, I sense shenanigans, is how I feel about this. But I don't know. Yeah, maybe the secret that Kiku was hiding was literally just that, like, her connection to the past and, all this shit. It's possible. I don't know. Or that she, like, literally is a samurai. My shonen senses are tingling. There's more going on here. And by the way, here's another just data point. When we see the samurai kneeling before Lady Hiyori, like, with her, like, little child, with the 2 kids, we distinctly do not see that 5th figure, like, bowing to clearly show that it's Kiku. So, I'm just saying that, it is possible. It is possible, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then, oh, wait a minute. Okay, hang on. This is, then, I went to the next page. After they were sent to the future, we see someone there in the back. And it looks like that's supposed to be Kiku, who's dressed like Rurouni Kenshin. Which, let's not forget, people, Oda worked on. So, there's going to be something cool going on with that. Maybe that's Kiku, maybe it's not. It's probably Kiku. I mean, all right.
I think it's probably Kiku. I mean...
All right. Oh, damn you. It's probably Kiku.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Let's move along.
Good job.
Right. So the last thing about this, whatever. She confirms, I got the time fruit. Bam, here I am. And here she states, I have finally arrived here at the terminus of my journey. And this is what people were criticizing her for a little bit, like, hey, why not go to the future? I think she saw her husband die. Look, okay, think about the character. Like, I'm doing some hardcore analysis before I even know much, because I'm a genius. Here's what I know about this character. This is a person who's been fleeing from the past. Like, who knows what it was like to escape and, blah, 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 go to the future. She doesn't strike me, and One Piece isn't the kind of series where, like, she would have, like, I don't know, had, like, a husband and wife and then, like, ran away to the future to not deal with that. More than likely, she was, like, young and just wanted to... Yeah.
I was going to say, like, she probably had got to the point where she wanted to settle down. She had kids. She had a husband. It's like, I'm done running.
And it's a very romantic, like, Japanese thing to, like, your husband dies to, like, allow yourself to be, burned down in the wreckage of the castle where, like, you had a family and stuff. There's symbolism going here about, like, not running. I mean, would I do it? Absolutely not. I think she's retarded. But it's poetic. I suppose it's poetic. That's what I think. So people who are...
I mean, you can't understand, like, the mentality, like, anyone would have being able to jump years into the future to escape any problems.
And to finally find the man who lays the pipe so good that you want to stick around at long last. You're like, all right, this is it. I will not do better than Odin. He is the coolest guy. I can see getting pretty entrenched in that life and being like, nope, and, like, this is it. I'm done fleeing.
And you know what? There's nothing to stop her from sending her and Hiyori 21 years into the future anyway. So, like, it's not even confirmed.
That is true.
That she didn't do it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. All right. Well, and so here in our boys, they little fucking Toki does a little smile and does a little flash, and they all get sent to the future. And here they are. So there it is. And our boys just wake up 20 years, just having no idea what's going on, and just observing their own graves and the graves of everybody who died, and seeing Wano transformed as it is today. So it's got to be quite a change.
Yeah. And now we get the long-awaited, how did they get here? Like, what happened? We get, from this point, how they all got into such, fucked up shit.
Yeah. Which, This is cool.
It snowballs pretty hard. Like they were like completely ruined. Like this 20 years in the future, like revolution would not ever have happened if they hadn't met Kinemon's butt on a dragon.
That's true. And he didn't have the ability to speak via farts, which he canonically does have. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, but there are other allies around. I see. Some people had been waiting for 20 years. They were poking around. So there are allies who want to support him and whatnot. Okay. So here's where, after they were sent to the future, they hear Lady Toki's words were said to like everybody else. Those guys heard the whole 20-year prophecy. So here they are. They're searching for the 9 red scabbards. Couldn't find them. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen with those guys? I assume these guys are part of that crew. You know what? Okay, I'm looking. That's definitely Kiku. That clearly is her face in these panels. All right, I've wasted everyone's time again. But I still think that the sister's going to show up somewhere. So.
Of course. She's gonna like battle for the. Maybe she's evil. Maybe she's an evil person now.
I think we're gonna find her like as the princess of the flower capital, who probably. I bet she was forced to marry, or maybe is going to be forced to marry, Orochi. Like, she's going to be a QT princess for sure, and I bet we'll see her at the capital. It'll be dope, and it'll be very pornography. Yeah.
So this is cool. They've got allies, been waiting for 20 years, the good boys, and then they go out to find more allies, because they have the animal friends, they know them.
Yep.
So they travel over to Zou, but then they get spotted, pursued by Kaido. Mm-hmm. They get shipwrecked, and they lose contact with Raizo.
Raizo on Zou. Yep.
Then they drift away into Dressrosa, lose contact with Kanjuro, and then they get trapped on Punk Hazard, get sliced in pieces. Momonosuke gets captured, eats a devil fruit of a dragon.
Yep.
A dragon devil fruit, and gets stuffed, locked in a child experimentational facility.
Yeah, a lot of shit happened to these guys. It was real
pretty
bad.
Fucked.
Man, that sucks. Though you know what? It's
nice
really
to have
fun to look back at this and to see all the things that have happened. Like so much has been related to Wano leading up to this point. It's really cool. And this is the first time we saw Kinemon get sliced up by Law, who's like now their best buddies. I like this panel a lot of him like freaking out, understandably, as he gets chopped into pieces. This is very good. This is very funny. Yeah, this is nice. I like all of it. They flash back to that panel where he talks about how he likes Nami's titties hanging out. Can't relate.
Unbelievable.
It's just very nice. This is all very nice. Very good. Oh, and I see Robin there with her very sweaty body. That's good. I remember that. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, so how many arcs is that? That's like after Fishman Island, it was a thing.
That was Dressrosa, Punk Hazard, Zou. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Okay, so three big arcs. 3 big ol' arcs.
I mean, Zou was kind of small in comparison.
Okay, fair enough. And the whole cake had basically nothing to do with it, but that's fine. I'm just doing other stuff for that. Yeah, pretty cool. Very nice. Very good. Here we are, doing things. So they're still secret. People don't know that they are alive. So the Straw Hats have done one thing successfully, it seems. What's his face? Orochi is scared of this whole 20-year-old prophecy, based on what that guy was saying. What's his face? Zushi, whatever, the guy with the pompadour. But even though they know the Straw Hats are here, they do not know, it seems, that, like, Momonosuke, is alive, and that these guys are plotting this uprising based on this. At least I don't think so. And so at least that's still under wraps, which is a positive.
I mean, it's kind of under wraps. They did just beat the shit out of one of the... What are they called?
Yeah, one of the headliners.
I forgot the headliners.
Yeah, but like Momonosuke wasn't involved. I mean, but fair enough. Yeah, that is bad. Yeah.
Well, Hawkins is there, and he knows Law and Luffy are there now.
Right, but that's what I was saying. Like, he knows they are there, which is terrible. But like, it doesn't seem like they know about this whole like they were sent to the future from the past thing by.
Oh no.
So
yeah,
like
I guess not.
It's good that that's still under wraps. That's a positive. And here we have a nice shot of like all the allies they've got right now.
Yeah, this is really cool. This is my favorite thing. I love crossovers and I love big amounts of stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool having a big old army together. I am already noticing, like, even with just the guys on this side.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters here.
There's
like just
no
seeing them
way.
like all on one page. It's the funniest thing of all time.
It's pretty funny. There's no way the vast majority of these characters get any kind of spotlight, which is fine. Like, this can just be like war. Like, don't worry about it. Like in Alabasta, there was a big war happening, and like our guys were fighting mooks quite a bit, like during the big actual fight at the end of the arc. And then like there were just like cool highlights of like the one-on-one fights with like the generals or whatever, which was cool.
Look at Chopper's little face right there.
I can't even
like
fucking see him. Oh, I see him. Oh, look at Robin directly to the left of Luffy's head. Oh, she looks very cute. I love her square ass nose. Oh, it's beautiful. She's so good.
Yeah, it's surprising how much you can see the characters. Like you'd see Carrot there above Urashi, and then that dog girl.
It's almost like when you're drawing a manga, like if you want to confirm that a character is recognizable, you go out of your way and you make their defining characteristics quite visible, even in small print, even when there's a lot of detail. We'll get back to that in a little bit.
Yeah, I see.
So now, here's a shocking fact that Kinemon says here, which is that their forces need to be 5,000 strong. Luffy knocked out 500,000 soldiers in Fishman Island. Just like the scale of this is surprisingly tiny. I think that Oda fucked up in Fishman Island by making that number so ridiculously huge. That's how I feel about that.
Yeah, but there were 500,000 jobbers. They didn't know anything about punching.
Why are these guys not jobbers? I mean, I guess the samurai are way tougher, but still.
Yeah, it was implied that samurai
Japanese
are all like
steel.
superpowers.
We're so strong.
I
guess
mean,
so.
there's feature creep, not feature creep, power creep with with shonen.
Okay, my real point.
It feels like an MMO, like where you get to like the point where in like the end of the first expansion, you're fighting a giant demon the size of a city, and you're surviving that, and then the next expansion, you're fighting higher level rats than that guy, and they're very small, but they bite so hard, guys.
All right, you're right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense, but like it's the same sort of thing.
Okay,
like,
my real problem is with Fishman Island, and that number was way too fucking big. It was way too fucking big, and it didn't make any sense, and I've always been weirded out by it.
I didn't even remember that, so...
It was okay. I might be wrong about the 500,000, but it was definitely hundreds of thousands of people, which is a lot of fucking. You can't gather that. Those people were all in one square, and Luffy knocked them out. Are the numbers wrong?
Yeah,
Am I wrong about these fucking numbers? I don't know.
You might be right about the numbers. I don't like big empty squares full of a large amount of people, because it just reminds me of Naruto and how that's so lazily like, oh, let's just have like. Every arena is just a big fucking crater or something. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I confirmed the number.
Like near the end.
You're absolutely right. Luffy knocks out 50,000. He knocks out 50,000 people at once.
Okay, that's slightly more
which is better,
but that's still like an entire army.
That is so many fucking people. It's absolutely ridiculous. I guess they could theoretically fit in that square, but like,
wait a
Jesus
minute.
Christ.
Were they all fishmen?
No, like actually, that's like they had like forced pirates who they had like captured to like become their soldiers, kind of. They were like slave soldiers, kind of.
That's different. Like,
I think what he's saying. How did they get so many fucking slaves? That's so many people. That's so many slaves to have. Jesus Christ! I'm like that astounds me still.
Yeah, like the one thing like I've never really been able to believe, like suspension of disbelief, or rather like they've never portrayed it very well in One Piece, except maybe in Alabasta, is the size of countries.
Alabasta was the only good one, basically.
Alabasta was the only one that felt like
good, I guess.
Felt like it was like a big enough place to have a large population and be a country with like a kingdom. most other places just feel like an island.
Dressrosa is. We looked at this the
Yeah.
other day. It's like a city with like farmland around it. Like is Dressrosa? Wow.
But it's implied to be like the size of an actual country, and it's just like,
Yeah,
the
it's
buildings
weird.
are just really big. So it fucks
Yeah.
with your sense of like perspective and sizes of things, and like, oh yeah, the amount of space taken up. You know, if everybody.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a bunch of people in this area, it would be like 100,000 people, and it's like, that doesn't make any sense.
It's
That's
weird
like a
that,
tiny area.
If you put, I'm 100%, if you put Alabasta as an island next to Dressrosa, Dressrosa would be fucking tiny. And yet they're both just like equal countries.
In your mind, you would assume it's really just because Alabasta has deserts and spaces in between towns.
Yeah.
And Dressrosa has a landmark that you can see from all areas of the island.
Yes.
It just seems a bit like, okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
Strange.
I mean, some place like Totland I like a lot because like it gets the best of all these worlds. Because like you can have like a tiny little island that is like, you know, funnily themed, like donuts or, you know, pretzels or whatever it is, and then there's like lots of islands around you can just sail to because it's like not an archipelago but it's like a cluster of islands. That's real cool. I don't know. I'm just saying.
It's like a what do you call it? A zone,
a region or a
region.
It's like an archipelago kind of, but like way further apart. And I don't know. It's like the fucking
a territory.
the Philippines.
It's like a whole territory is the word I was thinking of.
That's fair. Yeah. All right. Well, whatever. Point is, things are silly. Zero. Zeros all around to all you listeners.
Well, all right. In terms of like 5,000 strong.
Yeah.
I think they're thinking of like people on the level of like a pirate or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like think of the weakest person in the you know, I don't know, any of these pirate crews.
Sure, maybe Beppo
and we
or
need
something. Like a kung fu bear.
Like
or something.
5,000 Beppos. Like that's still some sort of a fighter. So like they'd need that many.
I do agree.
I don't think they can win a war of like quantity. They
Probably
need like
not,
a lot of strong fighters to beat down all these pirate Kaido and Shogun people.
I mean, okay, but like I feel like you're right that like it is implied that samurai are significantly stronger than like your average dude. I mean, sure, that's been consistently basically said, and I'm totally with you on that. But then I just say, doesn't that mean that the Shogun would also, like his guys would also be like significantly stronger?
Well, yeah, it would mean...
Because 5,000 people to overthrow a country is actually very small. Like, unless we're talking about countries that are, like, the size of a Dressrosa. But Wano already looks way bigger than Dressrosa.
Well, how about this, then?
Yeah.
They need a 5,000 strong.
Mm-hmm. For, like, some kind of tactical strike or something?
Well, yeah, but the enemy, like, not every person who is a resident of the... You know, the country is a samurai.
Yeah.
Maybe they only have like 5,000 or 6,000 samurai.
Let's turn the page because that's what this is actually relevant to. Because they're not trying to like overthrow the whole country at once. Next page, their goal: gather information in secrecy and take the commander's head. The commander being Kaido. And in 2 weeks' time, they're having on the night of the Fire Festival, which sounds hype. We will commence the raid on Onigashima. So, like, bam, there it is. That's Kaido's fucking fortress. It looks sick. They're doing a raid with these 5,000 troops. That's what they're for, presumably. And they are taking out Kaido is the plan in 2 weeks.
Yeah, this gave me like flashbacks to Avatar: The Last Airbender, where they got all the different types of people together to fight in the Fire Nation on the Eclipse.
Yeah,
at the right time.
That didn't work, but it was a sick ass plan. That was totally awesome.
Oh yes, Like just seeing those boats there, I was like, okay, there's going to be a naval invasion.
Oh, it's so cool.
Where's Jinbei? We need Jinbei to help.
I mean, I wonder every chapter where's Jinbei. My hatred has turned to love, and now I pine for him every waking moment of the day. Yeah, I mean, hashtag where's Jinbei? Hashtag 10th man down? Hashtag 10th man down. Yeah, that's good. That's our where's Jinbei hashtag.
Fishman down.
Fishman down. Fishman down. Hashtag stop racism. Because why aren't you putting Jinbei in the comic? That's the full hashtag. Hashtag stop racism. I forget what I even said.
Hashtag cancel the sushi order.
Hashtag send back the fish. Yeah. Hashtag no eats. Hashtag no eats, no greets. Something like that. Yeah, that's good. By the way, I did a little reading. I was on forums and whatnot, looking into this, and shit, I forget the name of the story, but okay, there's this whole place, Onigashima. Like, there's a story of Momotaro. I forget what story this is.
They have this on Japanese books.
Okay, that's what it is.
About.
Let's just read that for fun. Yes, the Tale of Momotaro. It's a super famous story from Japan about the little hero, the little prince who was found in a peach that they cut open, and there's a baby boy inside. He grows up to be the peach boy Momotaro, or in our story, Momonosuke. He grows up and goes to fight the Oni, which is Kaido, clearly. On his journey, he befriends a dog, Koma Inu, a monkey, a baboon, apparently, and a pheasant. And perhaps
Yeah. The Koma Inu is the dog we already have. The baboon is the thing that Tama thing, and then the pheasant is like currently untamed. We don't know what the pheasant might be.
That's true.
But it's likely a pheasant will turn up.
Yeah, okay, only because of this, my thought, maybe the pheasant will be Aokiji, because Aokiji's bird theme is a pheasant. I'm just saying, it's fun to think about.
That would be very funny, and also another person who we didn't expect to be here being here.
I mean, hell, it's just fun to speculate, and also, so it's from the Tale of Momotaro that the kibidango that Tama uses to befriend animals, like that's what it's from. So so many connections here. This is really dope, and I'm really fucking hyped. Now that this has kind of been established as what the plan is, because we were just flailing until right now. In 2 weeks. They've got allies. They've got Luffy and the gangs here. Our boys are deep cover. Though I do wonder how we're going to fill 2 weeks of in-world time, though, because that's pretty long. That's pretty... Like, if it was, like, in 3 days, I'd be like, okay, we're getting ready. But 2 weeks is kind of long. What do you think's going to happen in those 2 weeks? Is Luffy going to go on an adventure and, like, explore? I feel like they've got some information to find in these 2 weeks or something to, like, do something.
Kanjuro and Raizo and Inuarashi are all out doing stuff.
True.
They're not here yet. They have jobs, and also we will have to check in on what Robin's doing, Frankie, Usopp, and all them, and how they're in contact with Kinemon and the guys, and what they're currently trying to do. Like, do they have information already? I mean, Robin does.
This raid, you know what? I bet they're trying to find out where the sister is. I bet that's like a big important thing to like try to get the sister back, because I'm sure she's very important. To I don't know, like what's going to happen in this now that we know that she exists. Though maybe we did before, I don't remember. There's that, and I was wondering, and I'm sure she's relevant to this, but like this whole arc, this whole attack that we're describing is only an attack on like Kaido's fortress. It doesn't at all address like something's going to happen with the Shogun, Orochi. Like something has to happen. There's going to be an arc with that guy for sure. Probably involving Momo. Luffy's gonna go fight Kaido. Maybe there'll be a B team of like Momonosuke and team that go take out Orochi at the same time or something. There's got to be a confrontation between those two for sure. I'm really hyped for that. Actually, it's gonna be dope. Can't wait.
Yeah,
can't wait to see that shit.
Also, I forgot to clarify why the wharf was important. It's because Oden created rivers and wharfs. He connected villages and people together. Yes. So Zoro jumped on a wharf. It's like, oh, what's this? I'm lost. Haha, I'm going to go on this thing. And he's going to end up at one of the villages. But the river there, if you look at the page where Zoro's like...
Yeah, I'm going back.
Like, oh, what? There's a little bridge, there's a little gate in the bridge, and the boats are going towards the factories.
Yes.
So I think Zoro is unwittingly going into like the lion's den, like the big like factory stuff, and he's going to find himself in big trouble very early on.
He already beat up the tiger's den. Time to go to the lion's den and beat them up too.
So he is going to like immediately ruin this plan. Not immediately, but like something is going to happen where it's like they have to go to the factory early, and that's going to fuck things up.
I mean, it is a 100% consistent theme in One Piece, and just basically in storytelling, because like things going according to plan is boring. That things never go according to plan. In some way. So we'll see. Oh, how exciting and fun. I mean, that's pretty much it for this chapter. There was a lot there. It was a very good chapter. You know, there was a couple of little speed bumps, but overall that was mostly great, and I'm now officially really excited for the things happening in Wano.
It was hype, and it clarified a lot of the weirdo things we were thinking about
and
last time.
It assuaged my biggest fears about time travel. Those are gone. These are gone. And I couldn't be happier about it. This is great. This is really exciting and excellent and a terrific chapter overall. See, people, you got to wait till the end to hear my full thoughts. I loved it. I loved this chapter. It was great. It was absolutely fantastic. And I cannot wait for the Lord Odin flashback. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, just, I hope it, man, a flashback as good as, the last great flashback was, what's-her-face, in Fishman Island, Lady Otohime. In my opinion, the second best flashback in the whole series after Mont Blanc Norland and Calgara. So please, God, Oda, make it a good one. Make me impressed. I already love it because it's not about a weirdo edgy boy like Law who's being inflated weirdly to be, you know, more of a character than he should be. And by the way, he wasn't offensive this chapter at all. It was totally fine. It's great. His place here was perfect. He is a noted, important member of the resistance, #ResistTrump, and we're going to take him out. And we're going to put Hillary on that throne where she belongs. I can't wait. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Now, before we wrap up, there was an interesting event that happened in the world of YouTube podcasting. Involving you and I a little bit. Now, this isn't a big deal, people. It was nothing crazy, but I thought it would be interesting to bring up because it does involve, as far as I know, maybe it's not the biggest. I didn't do the fucking math. I checked their YouTube views. They're lower than us, but I think they're just like a big podcast in general. The One Piece podcast guy, named Greg, on Twitter, he put out a tweet the other day that I found very interesting, and a bunch of people were retweeting. I guess I'll say, I won't even say his, like, Twitter, because, like, by the way, nobody harassed this guy. Not a big deal. Just having fun here. Just goofing and gaffing. Being intellectually honest. All right, here's the deal. This guy tweets out an image from last chapter. And I've done all my due diligence, so I've got everything laid out before me. Look at this shit. On the one side, you've got, these should be on screen now if you're watching. So this is a rare time you'll see something on screen. On the left, there's an image of fucking Kinemon from chapter 819, where I looked this up, and he is talking about, like, that they are recruiting allies to fight with them in, actually, hang on, I actually have it pulled up right here. He's saying, those that harbor sentiments of rebellion have begun to gather, compared to the armies of the enemy, we're a puddle before the ocean, we have no hope of winning. So he's talking about the allies that he's been gathering. So he's talking about current allies. And by the way, this was during the height of Zoe from chapter, 819. Greg here takes this image and takes a picture of, this fucking guy here. God damn it, what's his name? Kyoshiro, who we saw last chapter in 919, and says, well, Oda most certainly did draw Kyoshiro exactly 100 chapters ago. What a beast. Now, if you look carefully, ladies and gentlemen, I got into a big talk with this guy and a bunch of people about, like, is this actually this guy? Because this really does not look like him. And I mean, you just cast your gaze upon the things on screen here, people, because this, on the left here, like, and let's put up Gibbs' GIF here, which actually shows the outline. This man looks like a guy wearing a straw hat. Okay, like, it doesn't, and then the guy on the right has a pompadour. Like, I see the shading going on. I see, I could see how this, if it was shaped differently, could look like a pompadour. But I really do not get the sense that this is intended to be the same character. Do you? Am I wrong, viewer?
Initially, I saw the pompadour. Mm-hmm. Mostly, I think because, like, he was putting the images next to each other and saying, look, it's the same guy. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess it is. And then I did look at it. Like, I believed it was the pompadour, but I just didn't give a shit. Yeah. Just like, who cares? But then looking at it closer, it's like, it was like, no, it does look more like a straw hat, because if you want it to be the pompadour, only one side of the head could be, drawn in that way with the lines.
Yeah, and yet
it's
clearly
such a
is
small
on both.
image.
This would be like a very, very wide, flat pompadour if this was in fact that character. So, like, am I taking... like, a lot of people were just like, yeah. I mean, they kind of had the reaction that you had, Gib, of just like, yeah, that's him. And, like,
well,
okay, from
my
the
reaction
perspective...
was like, yeah, that's him, but, like, literally, that's not genius. That's nothing. That's him having a character.
But okay, I mean, look, let's say that it looked literally like the guy and just was clearly 100% definitely Kyoshiro. I would say, okay, no, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. I like that Oda plans things out. I would say those words, would be what I would say. I would give tip my fedora to Oda, tip my hat, and pointing it out would be perfectly fine. But I literally have no idea. Okay, I think it is a stretch, is what I'd say, to say that these are definitely the same character. Because, okay, I get it. If we take the perspective of Mr. Wide Pompadour, I agree. It's a big, wide pompadour that looks like it goes maybe a little bit beyond the sides of his face. On the left here, we see the guy with his hat, like that goes way beyond the sides of his face. And we can see that he's facing towards us. That's definitely like his face there. So, like, what? I don't understand. I don't see the connection. I really do not think this even was intended to be. Like, does this not just look like one of those Japanese straw hats that are very famous and people wear? That's what it looks like to me. So this is very confusing to me, why it would be like asserted that this is this guy.
Okay, but
yeah,
I want to ask you.
Sure.
What is, like, the problem with it being, like, this tweet? Like, did you...
Okay.
What was the problem with the tweet itself that, like, you didn't believe the thing?
My problem with the tweet was, I look at this carefully, like, he's saying, like, okay, Greg here is saying Oda did draw Kyoshiro exactly. He bolds this and stuff. 100 chapters ago, what a beast. And puts these next to each other. I do not see this, and no one has been able to show me like what the connection is here. That makes any sense. So what Greg is doing, in my eyes, is he's being an uncritical viewer here. And he's saying something that, like, look, I know that he thinks it's true. Like, I don't begrudge him that, but I don't think, like, I think that he is a journalist. He is a one-piece journalist. He is a professional. Like, I think this is extremely weak evidence, and I think it behooves a journalist to be critical and to say things and assert them when you have evidence. Because if it is what I think, if it's what I'm saying, that he's being overly generous with Oda, then what he's doing is, to people like me, and, I got a couple of responses to people who seem to agree with me on this, that, like, yeah, like, really preaching the gospel of Oda, even when it's not warranted, which I would argue is a situation like this, spreads this idea to anyone who looks at this that, like, man, these One Piece fans, they just get so excited about nothing. Like, there's nothing here. Like, we like Oda enough. We like Oda so much that it's our job to make it not weird. To make it not weird how good One Piece is and how good Oda is. And I think that he went too far. And look, I know this is just a tweet. I'm not trying to kill the man. I'm simply making a humble criticism. And the interesting thing is, he responded to me after I retweeted him and stuff. And he said, let me find his response here. Basically, I just said, I think you're not being critical. I don't think this makes sense. What he said to me was that he's actually a writer for the One Piece magazine, which, if you're not familiar, is like it's like an official One Piece magazine that comes out every once in a while. Oh, sorry, no, it wasn't that. He writes for this thing like One Piece Super. OnePiece.com/special/Greg is his page. And so, like, he writes in Japanese, like, he's a professional. He's writing, like, with Sueisha on, like, OnePiece.com. This is a real professional role. That's totally fine. And when I asked him about this, he said that, like, okay, I see that you're passionate about this. And I mentioned, like, you should have journalist integrity. He responds saying, well, if you're talking about journalistic integrity, I mean, I cleared this. Like, I have already written a panel about this. And I believe he said that I include this information. and it's been reviewed by the editors. By I think he said the editor of One Piece. In fact, I'm going to pull this up, so I'm not talking out of my ass here. And, like, if that's so, then, like, I still budge 0% from I do not know how someone would see this. It does not make sense to me, to my eyes, that anyone would make this connection unless they're really straining themselves to find something. Yeah.
Before we go any further with that,
sure.
The idea that the editor said, yeah, that's true, is gonna have people disregarding anything you say from this point onwards. Like, well,
Possible.
The editor said it's true, like, therefore it's true. Nate, you're just blind, Nate. You're just blind. And to them, I would say, I don't think the editor, like, I don't know who the editor is.
Yeah.
But I would assume, like, whoever this Greg guy is,
yeah.
you know, he is not, like, that important to the editing of One Piece. So when he sends an email to this guy, this editor of One Piece, who says, could you confirm whether this panel and thing is this, so I can say that in my magazine thing that I'm gonna write?
Yeah.
And the editor just looks over it and is like, oh, yeah. Like, what does it matter to him? It's just a bit of fun. It's just some guy looking to make a a post about something. He's not going to, like, go to Oda himself and ask, is like, did you intend this? I want to make sure this is absolutely the truth. I don't think, like, even if it's the editor, I don't think it's, like, it really just means nothing to me.
It means little.
Little. I have no information either.
Yeah.
But I'm skeptical as to, like, because initially I did see the Pompadour, but now I don't, because
I never saw it. I never saw it for an instant.
It like, the idea that it could be a straw hat, and, like, looking at it closely, it just does look like a straw hat.
Yeah.
And it's not even like this is a big thing. The only reason I got, like, a little, like into this is because the guy Greg was responding to tweets and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just didn't like his tone. Didn't like his tone. I've got mad beef with this guy.
I'll let you be the judge, ladies and gentlemen, because when I said, I did my initial kind of bunches of responses when he responded, and I said, like, hey, I think you should be a little more diligent. I don't think this really is a reasonable connection to make. Weaponizing my autism as I do. And then I said, we all know the man plans ahead and designs characters decades before they debut, but stuff like this makes me and other skeptical people raise eyebrows. Just some notes from a fellow One Piece professional to another, no disrespect intended. His response was, none taken, mate. I hope you'll one day be able to work with the series too, since I can see your passion. Now, is it just me? Or is our boy flexing nuts a little bit? Is he flexing some nuts on me?
He's flexing.
The thing though.
Kid.
Yeah.
No problem, kid. I'm just like a real guy. Don't worry about it.
You know what? I feel bad. I honestly think that this guy is weird in that he is so nice that it seems like he's being insincere. I really think that he's just that nice. And he meant every word and literally wants me.
I also, like, think that, but I think it's funny to have mad beef with a guy on the One Piece podcast.
I mean, sure.
We're the One Piece podcast, guy.
We can weaponize
Get out of here.
autism and memes. And he doesn't have those tools in his toolbox. He's like a professional. We don't have to use those standards, so we will out-meme you, Greg. I have nothing against this guy, and I think he's quite nice. It was nice of him even to respond to my, allegations of, some wrongdoing. This is extremely minor shit, people. So now the people in the One Piece, like, professionals are getting the taste of the autism here on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. So we're spreading, we're growing. It's happening like a nega slime spreading its tentacles outward.
This is going to be our big break. Our mad beef is going to skyrocket us to the top of YouTube's trending tab.
Patreon.com/thepodcastpirates, ladies and gentlemen. Click down below. That's support our epic feud with Greg. No, Greg's a nice guy. But you know what? There's one final point to make on this. It's that after he said that, like, so he said that he had written a panel. He implied that this information had been included in it. And he went on to say, like, it's all written and done, and it's been checked by Toei. And why would Toei know anything? They don't write the fucking manga. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Maybe they're involved in some way. Like, they make the anime months later. Okay, doesn't matter. And One Piece's editor. That's the big one. That's the big one.
Until Oda says he was right, I will not believe anything.
People, even Oda himself, but I doubt Oda would do this. But people like on the editorial staff,
I mean,
they have an
even
incentive.
Oda would be nice and be like, oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, Oda might.
You're right.
Oda might. Like, look at an SBS. He's a sweetheart. But like I don't think Oda would like inflate his own skill or his own. Like he doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. He is a legend. So like to me. An editor, however, I think, like, if somebody comes to an editor and says, like, oh, Mr. Editor, I noticed this thing about One Piece that makes you look even cooler. Is it true? All I'm saying is they have an incentive to agree. That's my only point on that. So, you know, you got to do, like, throughout all this, people can say what they will. I see no connection, visibly, between these two characters. That's what I come back to. They do not look the same. And I would be astounded if this was actually true.
But Nate, you can tell by the pixels.
I zoomed in so close to those pixels, and I still couldn't see
if
any
you
truth.
Get the raw unscanlated version, you can see more pixels.
I'm sure that's
and,
what it
and
is.
in tiny writing, it says, "I am the character that will appear in 100 chapters."
Greg really is like an evolved, better version of me, kind of, because like he speaks fluent Japanese. He like lives in Japan. He's like a One Piece professional writing for fucking like actual One Piece Sueisha or whatever. Pretty impressive. This guy's pretty impressive. Okay, but the last thing I wanted to say about this was just that I wanted to read his thing, and I was going to Google Translate. I was going to whip out my mediocre Japanese skills, try to fucking translate on this issue and really dig down into it. The thing is, though, at this time, he has not actually published the writing yet, and I found it. It's on like this onepiece.com/special/Greg. That's his page. Actually, hang on. I want to get the right URL. Because, like, these are actually interesting, the fact that these exist. It's onepiece.com/special. It's linked on his Twitter profile. I mean, whatever. Yeah, okay. onepiece.com/special/Greg is where he apparently does, like, synopses or something. I haven't, like, read through this because it's in Japanese. I need to decipher it and, Google Translate or whatever. But, like, the last one is from September 27th. So, like, and he said that it's done, like I said, it's all ready to go. He just hasn't had a chance to upload it where this is discussed. I really wanted to be able to talk about what that said on this episode, but it's not up yet. So next time I got to address this and see, like, if this actually backs up what he's saying. I believe that this guy believes everything he says and has nothing but the best of intentions. I simply think he's wrong, and that the people around him are also, like, what really got me. His tweet has like 500 likes now. When I first saw it, it had like 300. And I saw under it a sea of people being like, wow, good catch. And I'm like, what are they seeing? Literally, like, I had to ask, like, what character, like, which person in here is this guy supposed to look like? And of course, my eye gravitated to this guy because he's in the center. But I do not see it. And it is strange to me that other people do. And I think it's people tricking themselves. And I hate when people trick themselves. It annoys me. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at, people. I am the anti-soy boy, joy boy. I am the exact opposite. I am the most critical reviewer of everything. And I will not stand for fun. Because fun without truth is evil. That's what I have to say about that. No fun allowed. Just be truthful, people.
Ho,
just be
and a
critical.
Bottle of grog.
You're a journalist. I'm going to hold you to standards. That's it. Which I do to Joy Boy, which I do to Soy Boy, of course. Fat checking that boy all day and night. And everybody else. Which is why I've always hated fanon, analysis. Not analysis, but like theories and stuff. They pull shit out of their ass. It's always pissed me off. Okay. That's all I got to say about that. Again, nobody... I swear to God, if anybody goes to shit talk this guy, I will be fucking pissed, all right? Leave him alone. He didn't do anything except be wrong, which is, just be relaxed, people, all right?
Oh. I don't think we even have the audience big enough to cause any sort of problems, but also don't do it.
I mean, if you do, I will be mad at you, and I might ban you. I'm just letting you know, like, I don't want people in our community who harass people. I'm telling you right now. Like, if you harass me, that's one thing.
Pirates have a code.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like, subscribe, go to the Patreon, and go to the Discord. That's the code. You got to follow that code only.
I don't think anybody here is actually gonna do anything. But, like, I'm just like, this is a small issue, people. Keep things in proportion. Relax. I simply think that he's wrong. and that's all there is to it. You know what? I'm making this too big of a thing, even by saying all this stuff. It's cool. Everybody chill. It'll be fine. That's all there is to it. And I am very much looking forward to seeing that column come out, hopefully in a couple days. And I'm gonna go through there with a fine-tooth comb. So be ready, Greg. You got your harshest critic keeping a close eye on these columns. And I can read some Japanese, so you can't wiggle out of my fucking eyes, dude. I'm on you. Like ugly on an ape. That's me. Like dango on a cheek.
All right. This is enough of this.
This is enough of this. All right. All right, everybody. We've had enough of this for today. Hey, patreon.com/thepodcastpirates, everybody. Support our evil agenda to overly criticize everyone who isn't us. Join the Discord, link below. Come hang out. Have fun. Be a friendly boy. But more importantly, give us money so that we can actually justify doing this. And you can be a cool colored person in the Discord.
Colored people rule.
It's the only place where you can
say.
finally be colored the way that we all want to be. Yeah, so thanks for listening, people. We'll see you. No chapter next week, people. Oda's a lazy hack. He never predicts anything, especially not
He was too busy being distracted by the editor asking for clarification
for
on
clarifications on their blog posts. Yeah,
he had to go back through his old like booklets. Like, oh, did I mean that or not? I'm not sure.
Oh no, we are the problem, people. Hashtag it's us. All right. Well, we'll see you in 2 weeks, people. Have a good time. Hope you enjoyed. Be good.
Good fucking bye.
Goodbye.